Hey, good morning from Kennedy Space Center, NASA, the home of space exploration, right? We're out here today to experience the Kennedy Space Center and all that it has to offer, see what is new and what there is to do at the Kennedy Space Center. Here there's a few simulators and lots of exhibits to try out. We also have the new Gateway building, which we're going to check out later on in the day, and we're going to experience the Hall of Fame as well. There's a lot that the Kennedy Space Center has to offer, so we're really excited to check it out. Now, tickets are priced at $75 per adult plus tax, or $89 for 2 days. So it's a little bit on the pricey side, but there is a lot to do inside. So if you guys do enjoy the video throughout, give us a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Really does help me out a lot. And it'd be great if you could hit the subscribe button and bell icon to be notified when we post all new videos. Let's go and explore space.
We've got a map here just at the entrance to Kennedy Space Center. So we've got the main visitor complex just in front of us, and then down the bottom here they give you kind of a little map of the launch sites that are available. So you take a shuttle bus from here, go up here, and then you've got sort of some observation areas. You know, it does go up in price as you get through. But you got the Blue Origin, you've got SpaceX, you've got SpaceX again, NASA's Artemis one, which has been delayed a few times, so we're getting there, I think. And we've also got a number of dining and shopping opportunities as well. So as we walk in, we've got a number of historic rockets here in the Heroes and Legends Hall of Fame courtyard. They look stunning. They are all labelled up. I don't know which ones are which, but they are on the map. So if you pick yourself up a map, you'll see all of the rockets, and they are each labelled up outside on a little plaque. So this one here in particular is the Atlas Agena. Its height is 32.1 meters, diameter is 3 meters, and tells you the weight and the propulsion system and everything, and it is pretty insane. That's just one of like 7 or 8 that you've got here. Which look pretty awesome just as you come inside the visitor complex. So first up today, we are going to go into the Heroes and Legends Hall. So this is a Hall of Fame for the United States astronauts, presented by Boeing, which is pretty cool. You've got the mural up there of a number of astronauts. Let's go up and head inside.
I have a lot of heroes. What was my hero?
Your hero.
Hero. Superman.
Iron Man. Luke Skywalker.
I can remember being inspired, like most young children, by TV heroes.
I was inspired, of course, by science fiction.
But I am who I am today because of my father.
My father was a hero of mine.
Because he protects me when my brother tries to beat me up.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
I wonder what it was like to be one of those first astronauts.
The 33-ton rocket is poised to hurl America's first man into space at 5,000 miles per hour. Alan Shepard will rocket through 115 miles of earthly length. He will weigh nearly 8,000 pounds and replenishing acceleration of a giant booster rocket.
And you know the old desire of all pilots, when you walk up to the airplane, you always kick the tires just to be sure they won't flat. Kicking the tires, so to speak.
So as we come out of the theatre, we've got the scale model of one of the space shuttles here. As we come downstairs, we've got these kind of interactive areas where you can see the little bits and pieces that would have inspired some of the astronauts. Lots of comic books, obviously. This is what was really getting people going back in the 50s and 60s when space age was really taking off. Ooh, Meccano set. Pretty cool. And we're underneath the rocket itself at the moment. Missions, the Sigma 8, it's a Mercury Atlas. And they're all kind of designed to be like little capsules. We've got Mission Control, Mercury Mission Control, 1962. This is one of the spacesuits, or at least a representation, is it? Oh no, it is the spacesuit worn by Gus Grissom during the suborbital flight in 1961. Wow. Wow. That is cool. So this is the Gemini 9A capsule. So this is what would have been in that Sigma 7 mission. Not enough space for two people in there. It kind of looks like the interior of a jet aircraft. And then we head into the Astronaut Hall of Fame with Alan Shepard. He was the first American in space. If you haven't checked out The Right Stuff, a series on Disney Plus, go and check it out because it does explain about that whole mission. Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, John Glenn. The design of the plaques are quite cool as well. They kind of look like stardust. And it then gives their mission dates as well underneath. So next up we are going to do the bus tour of the complex. Now what we do advise doing this relatively early. If there is a rocket launch at some point throughout the day, you have the potential to miss out on this. Thankfully today it's open till 4:30, but sometimes it does close a little bit earlier. Just over to a different area of the complex. Go on a little tour, see some rockets, and then we'll come back here shortly.
The VAB can fit 3.5 Empire State Buildings, and it would take 250 billion ping pong balls to fill it. It was built in the 1960s for the Apollo program. Every Saturn V rocket that sent humans to the moon was assembled right here. Every space shuttle mission also assembled within these same walls. After the Space Shuttle program, a major renovation to the inside of this building began to accommodate NASA's next generation of rockets, the Space Launch System, or SLS.
Kicked into high gear, and less than 2 months later, we were ready to launch our own satellite.
Now we come out of the theatre where we've seen the launch of the Saturn VII, and there it is. What an insane sight. We've got the sigils of all of the missions.
On the 3, 4,
So we're going to have a look at the command module, the main booster module. So let's go up and take a look inside.
Welcome to the on my 3:15 Saturn V rocket.
Oh, it's quite snug in there. Fit a couple of seats in there maybe. Little iPad, some snacks, Oreos maybe. A space pen. So I guess these are given to the astronauts once they've completed the mission. Just for reference, the scale in here is just absolutely incredible. So here you can touch the moon, touch a piece of the moon that was collected by Jack Schmidt. Very smooth, a lot darker than I anticipated. So as we make our way down Saturn, we've got stage 1, we've got stage 2, and then stage 3. Here, just halfway up the building, you've got the lunar rover. Now there are 3 of these located on the moon still, actually. They've left them up there, they haven't brought them down. Electric vehicles. Just having a tour, and he was saying that the tyres here, used the term loosely there, they are made of piano wire because you can't take rubber up because it's hot and cold. You've got the tyres will either melt or contract, just break quite easily. And these are the spacesuits that they have worn at the time, back in the day, quite a little bit different to what we'd be wearing now. Definitely a lot thicker. You've got your pack in the back there that's got your oxygen tank. You've got your helmet as well as your moon boots. And these kind of over boots more than anything. Over here you've got the lunar module cockpit, and this will give you a kind of a representation of what it was like inside. Quite small in there. Quite a compact area, not a lot of space to move around. Of course, the astronauts were pretty used to this kind of thing. They knew what they were getting themselves in for, they knew what to prepare for, and they would have had a lot of training down here back on Earth before they could go up to space. Finally, at the far end of the building, we've got the lunar lander, and this is what would have finally broken out of the end just here. You got representation of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin as they dig for moon rocks. And of course they plant the American flag up there on the moon. So we've got the NASA Treasures Gallery now. This is the Apollo 14 capsule. The actual one, you can see all the scorch marks on it from where it re-entered Earth's atmosphere. Which is very cool. A few seats inside. It's going to be pretty scary. So we got a lunar sample here from 1972. We've got a few more artefacts from the missions, in-flight coveralls, cue cards, sample dispenser. We got some training gloves, and then down here we've got all of the spacesuits themselves. The extravehicular suit taken out the rover. Oh, this is the original extravehicular activity suit. back in 1963. Definitely a bit heavier. So as we come off of the buses from the Saturn V hangar, we come past here, which is the Atlantis rocket and booster system. Pretty cool. They are just refurbishing it at the moment, repainting it and things like that. The adventure has only begun. That was. So this is the Space Shuttle Atlantis, the real one, and this is one that has been used for countless missions, flown at thousands on thousands of miles, 33 missions over 26 years it says here. You can see the extending arm, and you've got the cockpit there as well. So it kind of looks a little bit like a plane. It's got that kind of plane-esque vibe about it. So throughout this exhibit, you've got loads of interactive displays that you can play around with. You've got a little mini satellite over there as well. Over here you've got an interior replica of the Atlantis space shuttle, so you can actually sit in and see what it's like. So here we've got the inside of the cockpit, which is pretty cool. It's broken up into two halves, so you can have a couple of people taking pictures. So here we've got one of the Space Shuttle's main engines. You see the size of it. That's definitely going to be powering something bigger than a Dodge Charger or a Ford Mustang. So we've got so many interactive experiences in here. We've got a scale model of Atlantis with the boosters attached and everything. Here we've got a shuttle launch experience. You've got to be 44 inches tall to enter. Around 20 to 25 minutes to experience the simulator. You've got a whole bunch of safety protocols here. So there is a few things that you shouldn't have wrong with you if it's something that you want to do. An Astrovan. So if you're wearing a bulky orange suit and riding in this set of wheels, you're headed to space sometime soon. A little bit different to what they transport them in now with the Model X's that they use to transport the SpaceX astronauts. And these are sadly astronauts that didn't make it. We're not going to enter there because it's a little bit disrespectful filming in there, in my opinion. Just over here, you've got a space toilet, so you can experience what it's like to be an astronaut doing your business up in space, and all of the situations that you'd be put in, just living everyday life in space. How do they eat? How do they sleep? As we said, how do they go to the bathroom? How do they exercise? So it's pretty cool. This is a really great idea. It gives you a really awesome idea of what it was like to be up there on the Space Shuttle Atlantis and up in the International Space Station as well. So over here you've also got a number of other training simulators where you can work the robotic arm, you can dock the space station, you can land it. Got a few of each of these, so you can experience parts of the Space Shuttle Atlantis and the International Space Stations, and really get a feel in this room for what it was like. And then of course once again we exit through the gift shop. And the gift shop is obviously really well designed, well themed. You've got loads of props throughout. You've got Artemis merchandise, even though Artemis sadly has not launched at the time of recording this video. Falcon Heavy. That was amazing when that went up. So if you were wondering, they do also have a lounge fly in here. It's, everywhere in Central Florida sells a lounge fly that's themed. So you've got the backpack. You've got a couple of purses actually. And then you've got the little like handbag one as well. It's very cool in here. So here you've also got the Orbit Cafe. This is where you'll get your full, more sit-down meal, quick service meal, not a table service meal. And then we're going to go into the world's largest NASA shop, Space Shop. This is quite cool. They ship anywhere. So they sell Artemis merchandise, they sell SpaceX merchandise in here, Blue Origin, NASA, like you name it. I mean, they've probably got it in here. So as we exit the gift shop, we've got the Mars rover. So this is what they've been trying to make, the newest prototype electric vehicle. So this is what they're hoping to get onto Mars, and they can traverse the surface of Mars because it is a little bit treacherous with the wheels. You know, they are built to withstand anything really. Something interesting here actually is not funded by taxpayer dollars. I find that quite an interesting comment. So now we've got Journey to Mars. This is kind of an interactive, hands-on exhibition area. So you see a bunch of different exhibits, basically all about going to Mars, the exploration of Mars, and all of those types of things.
Wider, deeper than the Grand Canyon, and on the Earth, it would reach from New York City to Los Angeles, California. Can you breathe the air on it? Why is Mars red?
We've got a live trivia.
Iron in the soil, yes. The planet is actually
demonstration here. This gentleman is quizzing all of the people sat down on the benches.
But there's a thick coat of iron dust across the entire
There's iron in the soil. That's why The surface of Mars is red. That's quite cool.
That's what gives the
Something
planet that
I didn't
orange
personally
color.
know.
And one of the ways that we know that there was water and oxygen up there.
So as we come over here, we've got a full-size development model of the crew vehicle. Gives you kind of an idea of how much space you have inside and how much space they'd have to sort of roam around and stick in for a few days that they are there.
After the mythologics and Deimos. Phobos and Deimos are the twin sons of the Greek mythological god of war, Ares. We combined those two mythologies together on that planet. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, how much would you weigh on Mars? 38 pounds. Beats the heck out of the Slim Fast method, now doesn't it? That's because there's a little over 1/3 the amount of gravity on Mars that there is on the Earth. Gravity is created by the mass.
Here we've got a couple of the original Mars rovers. Now there have been a number throughout the years, and this is just two of those models.
Now we're getting ready to watch the launch of the SLS, the Space Launch System. This is the newest rocket.
You've also got the Space Exploration Vehicle here.
Exploration of Mars.
And then we've got the newest Mars rovers as well. So these are what would have been dropped on Mars to just collect samples and survey the terrain. So here in the center, we've got this like kinetic energy pad. So the more people that stand on this, the more people that jump on it, on each of these pads, that'll slowly fill up the rockets there, and then we've got liftoff happening. So you stand on each of these pads, give it all the fuel that it needs, and then you'll be able to make the rocket take off. It's pretty cool. So here we've got a representation of all of the countries that are contributors to the International Space Station. So you've got US, UK, Switzerland, Sweden, Spain, Russia, Norway, Netherlands, Japan, Italy, Germany, France, Denmark, Canada, and Belgium. So all of these countries contribute to the upkeep and you know, the everyday running of the International Space Station, which is pretty cool. So they keep that going around the Earth. So here we've got the Gateway building. It looks pretty cool actually. The iridescent tiles all on the outside. This looks relatively new. I'm assuming this whole area is relatively new as well. The astronaut training experience is one of the newer exhibits here, so we've got a lot going on at NASA. Always exploring. They've got this interactive area here, and this is an official flight flown artifact. It's a bit of a mouthful, but you can see what's inside the Orion space capsule. So your astronauts, you've got the solar panels on the outside, seats and displays. Shelter. Astronauts can retreat to the shelter during dangerous solar storms. Just above us, we've got a SpaceX Falcon rocket as well, and the rocket boosters. These are the ones that re-land after being flown. So you've got RL-10, the rocket engine, and this is going to be part of the Artemis system. And this is Artemis, or at least a scale model of Artemis, NASA's space launch system. So Artemis 1 will be the first integrated test of NASA's deep space exploration system, the Orion spacecraft, the SLS rocket, and the exploration ground system at Kennedy Space Center. So this is a little depiction of all of the sections. So essentially now NASA are kind of attempting to compete with SpaceX and Blue Origin. Not so much Blue Origin at the moment. They're not doing as many sort of crewed missions or full payload delivery or anything like that. And this is the Delta IV Heavy. And this is the largest configuration in the Delta family of rockets. What we were looking at before was the Orion capsule. Here you've got Vulcan. After delivering to the International Space Station for NASA's commercial resupply services, Sierra Space's upcoming Dream Chaser cargo vehicle will launch aboard the United Launch Alliance Vulcan rocket and glide back down to Earth. So the Sierra Shooting Star enables transportation of critical science, food and cargo to the International Space Station. So the crew access the module via the aft hatch, which bursts to the space station. So this provides cabin environment for astronauts to work and a location for cargo to be removed and placed onto the station after berthing. So this is the Deep Space Habitat. Lockheed Martin's full-scale mock-up of a habitat orbiting around the moon shows that you need to take advantage of all of the space, both on the floor and the ceiling, to get the most functionality. So let's take you inside. They are really making the most of it. This is their bunks, where they would be sleeping. You've got the ability to do all your work and whatnot here, the horticultural stuff. You've got experiments there. Food storage, you've got portable water dotted around everywhere. And then you've got exercise equipment on the ceiling as well. So here you've got Boeing Starliner. And so this is going to be a reusable capsule. Got solar arrays dotted on the top. It transports crew and cargo to the International Space Station in multiple missions to low Earth orbit. It's got a unique weldless structure that makes it lighter and stronger. These are all interactive touchscreen displays, which are cool because they're kind of see-through as well, so you can do this. This is a really awesome exhibit. And then you've got the SpaceX Cargo Dragon as well. So the Dragon displayed here made history in May 2012 when it became the first commercial spacecraft to deliver cargo to and from the International Space Station. In December 2020, SpaceX unveiled the redesigned Cargo Dragon 2 spacecraft for the CRS-21 mission to resupply the International Space Station. The Dragon 2 version uses smaller Draco thrusters, requiring less fuel and providing more cargo room. It remains the only spaceship capable of returning experiments and materials from low Earth orbit to Earth itself. And then we see a little kind of time lapse of the SpaceX launch. And again, these displays are kind of see-through as well, which is very, very cool. This place is awesome. So here you've got an internal simulator of the Boeing CST-100 Starline simulator. That is what we just saw over here. This is kind of the cockpit area. Really well designed because you've got the little windows over the top as well. And you've got all the controls in there. So they got this really cool interactive exhibit here, which is a glove trying on simulator. And they use this to track your movements. So you can try on the gloves in simulation, and you've got full dexterity as well. That's really smart. So we've also got the life habitat here. This is a large, integrated, flexible environment. Life. It launches on a conventional rocket and expands to the size of a 3-story building in orbit. There's significant volume, power and data to support long duration human habitation. It's developed and tested to meet NASA micro-meteoroid impact requirements. Applications in low Earth orbit, deep space transport and surface habitation on the Moon and Mars. So as you go up the ramp, you've got a few missions that you can do here. You've got the Red Planet, Daring Explorers, you've got Cosmic Wonders and Enchanted Worlds. Now you've got an estimated wait time for all of these, 40 minutes, 20 minutes respectively for the rest of them. We're going to go up and have a look. We won't be able to do them, but we'll give you an overview as to whether there are any additional charges or anything like that for them. Just having a look at the Boeing Starliner from the other side through the cargo hatch, and I mean the seats don't look too comfortable, but they've got a little bit of space in there for sure. Stairs. We've got a little bit here about the James Webb Space Telescope, how it came to be, how it works, and what it can see essentially, because this is what we use for the deep space exploration and understanding our solar system. We've also got an exhibit about satellites and the launches that have happened over the years, all of the satellites that are orbiting the Earth now. Obviously this has increased exponentially since SpaceX have been launching their Starlink satellites. You know, we're kind of littering the atmosphere a little bit with what we're putting up there nowadays. This is about the Falcon 9 first stage. So this is talking about the rocket just here. SpaceX believes rocket reusability is the key breakthrough needed to reduce the cost of access to space and enable people to live on other planets. So they've launched and reflown rockets, and this is one of the boosters for that, as we said before. So those exhibits over there, the departures that you have, those are motion simulators, much like the one that you have in the Atlantis show building that we showed you earlier. Obviously we weren't able to do either of them today, but you do have 4 different destinations here, which is pretty cool. They are all included free of charge as part of your admission. Now you are paying $75 per adult to experience the Kennedy Space Center today, so it's not bad that they are included. That's quite good. There's a lot to do here. They sell a 2-day ticket for $89. I'd suggest getting the 2-day ticket because there is a lot to do. There's a lot that we've missed out on as well, and especially if there is a rocket launch in the evening, that gives you the prime opportunity to watch the rocket launch and then come back the next day and really experience more that Kennedy Space Center has to offer. So much to do. So that's the end of our day here at Kennedy Space Center's visitor complex, and what an awesome time it was. Seeing the Atlantis Space Shuttle is just an absolutely fantastic experience. We particularly loved the gateway, the final building that we entered there. That's a pretty new experience and it's got a lot to offer. Now I'm sad that we couldn't do any of those missions, but if you do get the opportunity, they are included free of charge, so I would suggest go in and check them out because they're sure to be a lot of fun. We really do think you should come out here. There is so much to do, and as we said just a second ago, 2 days. If you can plan it so you ideally get a launch on night 1, you can stay overnight around the area and then you can come back on day 2 to experience more of what Kennedy Space Center has to offer. There's a lot to do with the motion simulators and everything it has to offer. So hopefully that's given you a good idea as to whether you should come out here and whether it be something that you'd enjoy or not. It is $75 a person or $89 for 2 days, plus tax of course. So if you have enjoyed the video throughout, give us a thumbs up, do appreciate it, really does help us out a lot. I'd love for you guys to hit the subscribe button, bell icon to be notified when we post all new videos. We'll see you on the other side. Thanks.